Hello everybody, welcome back to another Expeditions Guide. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Census Task in the SlipRock Swamps. For this expedition I'm going to be using the Con Marshal, and I don't have any equipment with me because we need 4 inventory slots, because we're going to have to go pick up some camera traps and go install those. So we got all 4 inventory slots open, 4 camera traps. You don't need any specialists or any other equipment like that, you just need 4 open inventory slots. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to leave the field operations base, and we're going to head along to the left side here. I also brought with me enough spare parts to create 2 bridges, because along the route here we're going to come across 2 bridges that will have to be created using spare parts. So I have 180 spare parts on me and a little bit of extra fuel. So first thing we're going to do is go ahead and cross this swampy bog here. And we're going to try to just stick to this dry area here. And watch out for these rocks. You don't want to get tipped sideways at all. And then we're going to just dart across here onto this rock. And from this rock, this is going to take us to our first bridge installation that we will need to install. So we're going to go ahead and install the first bridge. And while you're here, this is a good spot to use some binoculars to kind of unveil the shoreline. And look, there's an upgrade right over there. I'll be tackling upgrades in a future video, so don't need to worry about that. But that is where that upgrade is. So once we get across here, we're going to go over to the right here. And we're going to go ahead and just climb up the mountain here. It's more of a hill than a mountain, but yeah, same concept, I guess. So we're going to go ahead and just drive through the brush. And that is going to get us up to our mountain climb. And I'm going to go over to the left here to try to go around these rocks a little bit. And once we get to the top, I'm going to go to the left, around this rock, and around these trees. Caught on the branches a little bit there, but that's basically where we're trying to go. So once we get over here, we're going to head down to the left. And this is another good spot to use some binoculars, because we're trying to get to that airdrop over there. That's going to have our camera traps. So to get down, there's kind of a rocky crevice right there. We kind of want to avoid that. So we're going to go down to the left here. Kind of knock the tree down. And once we get to the bottom, we're going to go right over this rock here. So once we get down to the shore, we need to get to the other side over there. That was close. So we're going to go ahead and just drive around the shoreline here. Kind of drive right over this on the center. We're going to stick to the shoreline. It's pretty dry here. It's not super muddy. To get over here, I'm going to go kind of around on the side here. And this is going to be our airdrop here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab these 4 camera traps. There is a jack screw and some quartz, it looks like, that we can come back and get later. You might find some other random parts, but I'm going to go ahead and restock my parts and my fuel while we're here. With this being a mission airdrop, it is always going to be there when you're doing this mission, so a lot of other airdrops can be kind of randomized a little bit. So the first step we're going to do is we're going to go across the around the lake here, and we're going to go up to this clearing. That's going to be our first stop. And then we're going to go back up this side, come down over here, across the lake, over this way, and up this path. That's going to be our second point. And then we're going to come back here, resupply before we head off into the forest and build this bridge, come across and get to the third and then the fourth waypoint over here. And I will show you that route when we get headed over that direction, but we got to go to these first 2 points first. So we're going to go back the way we came, just kind of right across the shore here. When we get to this spot over here, this is where I'm going to start making our way up the banking here. That's a good spot there. You just got to avoid the rock. You just want to make sure you're going over that as straight as you can to avoid any bad angles that could cause you to tip over. Stuck on the tree branch there, but... And then we're going to go around this rocky chasm there. And this is going to take us right here, where we're going to go ahead and install the first camera trap right on the tree here. Alright, so now that that's installed, we're going to go ahead and get turned around and head back down. Again, you want to watch the rocks, and as always going downhill, you want to watch your speed. And just make sure your tires are pointed where you want them to go. We're going to just stick to the upper edge of the shoreline here. And we're going to go around this tree, staying up here, avoiding the riverbank. We're going to go ahead and head on up the climb here. To go up, I'm going to go up on the left side here. Again, you want to make sure you don't fall into that crevice there. And once we get over here, we're going to go right across this little pond. And that's going to take us right up here. Careful of the rocks. There's another crevice here, so we're going to go around it to the left. And we're just going to go right down here, kind of avoid the edge of the cliff there. And that's going to get us right down to the shore of this lake. Once we get to the lake shore, we're gonna stay in the water, but we're gonna stay just right on the edge of the bank here, where it's a little bit shallower, get a little bit better traction, and we're just gonna drive right along the shore. And once we get to the other side, there's a little path here. We're going to try to follow the best we can. It does have some bumps here, so we're going to try to get over those as straight as possible. Try to keep the con marshal pointed in the right direction. We're going to go just right over the rock here. And then we're going to go across. Kind of sticky in here with the mud, but it's enough that the con marshal with the always on all-wheel drive, always on diff lock, it'll just cut right through it. So when we get over here, we're going to kind of aim for this spot right between these two trees. Kind of go around this tree on the left here, and you're going to head right on down. There's a little bit of a flat spot here to go around the rocks, and we're just going to go right up to the other side. Alright, we're going to make our way over here and take this path up between the two rocks. Or rock cliffs, I should say. Not individual rocks, it's more like a rock cliff. But anyway. And once we get here, we're going to go ahead and install the second camera trap. Alright, so from here, we're going to just go back down the way we came. Right across, over this way, up the shore, back over here, back down, around the lake. We're going to be able to refuel, and then we're going to head this way. Over this way, across, over here, and that's going to get us to our next waypoint. So we're just going to navigate through the woods here. And we're going to come over this way and look for the high spot. It's right here. That's going to take us right across. And then we're going to do the same thing. We just need to cross back over the lake here. If you do get bogged down, you can put the thing into low gear. That will give you a little bit of extra power going through the mud. Or you can depressurize the tires if you feel like you need to. Now, once we get over here, we're going to kind of snake between these high spots. Being very careful to watch the angle of our truck, because we don't want to wind up tipping over here. And once we get over here, we're going to just follow the shoreline back across, just like we did before. Alright, once we get over here, we're going to get in between these two boulders here. And that's going to get us up onto the path. And we're going to go around the rock here. Climb up. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to stay to the right side, avoid the rock. We're going to kind of cut across here. And once we get up here, we're going to go down here and across the pond. Go down on the right here, very slowly, modulate the speed. Try to avoid any unfortunate rocks. And look at that. The Carpathians map is absolutely beautiful at night. And we're going to go ahead and make our way back over to the airdrop to resupply. Alright, while we're here, we're going to go ahead and restock the fuel. I'm also going to grab the jack screw and one of these crystals. Just now we have an emergency recovery if we need it. And also, any unused jack screws and anchors at the end of your expeditions will be resold. So even if you don't use them, that is some extra money. They sell for half of the cost of what you buy them for. So if you buy them for your loadout, you do get half of your money back, which is quite handy. Because it's always better to have those if you got room for them, because they are just absolutely critical for mission recovery, because the worst thing is having to start an entire expedition all over again because your truck went sideways or you ran out of resources or something. So this is where it gets kind of tricky here. So I'm going to go ahead and back up a little bit. Because you want to get the angle here just right. So I'm going to back up over here because we're going to go right down into this little ditch here. It is very narrow, so I would absolutely not recommend coming through here with anything larger than a scout. You can't get through here with a truck like the Action, and I've actually managed to squeeze through here with the AFIM, so some of the larger scouts you can kind of squeeze through here, but it's definitely a tight fit. Missing a little bit of traction here. We'll pull ourselves up with the tree. Pressure on the tires down. Reinflate the tires, and we're going to be on our way. So once you're through that, it's pretty much mostly clearing on the way to where we're trying to go. And we're going to go over here, and this is where we're going to install our second bridge. And that will get us across this stream. I'm not sure what to really call it. It is a stream, but it's also kind of very fast moving and in a crevice. So yeah, we'll just go with stream, huh? Alright, so once we get across here, we're going to go ahead and make our way over this way. And we're going to kind of snake between these rocks here. Something like that. I don't even know what happened here. I think I caught on a tree. Yeah, there's a tree right there. Alright, anyway, that is a way up here. It does take a little bit of finagling. If you had an anchor, that's a good, fantastic spot to put an anchor. Just to kind of pull yourself up there. But it is possible to get up there. You just got to be kind of careful with it. But once we get over here, we're going to head into the clearing. Over this way. And then we're going to go ahead and install camera trap number 3. So from here, what we're going to do is make our way back up where we just crossed over. And we're going to go this way and follow this ridge across over this way. And when we follow this ridge, that's going to take us right here where we'll be able to jump down and install the 4th and final camera trap. Now I'm also going to go ahead and skip to morning so you guys can see a little better. Nighttime cruising is fun, but definitely easier to see in the daylight. Alright, so this is our little ridge that we're going to follow. We're going to go over to the right here, and we're just going to drive right along this ridge. I mean, one thing that's kind of cool in Carpathians is these mountain ridges, you know, other than the numerous amounts of rocks on them, they kind of function like highways on the map, because they're usually, there's very high traction on them, it's solid ground, and usually you can go pretty quick over them. Some of them have, you know, little technical sections like this that kind of slow you down. But for the most part, these ridge lines are very quick paths across these maps. I think they're kind of fun. Maybe that's a bad rock. So we are approaching an avalanche spot. If you've seen the last guide, we cleared that in the last one. But this is another spot where if you haven't cleared this already, it's another 75 parts. And it's very slanted with a bunch of rocks. So you do gotta kind of watch your tire tracks there. And we're just going to continue to zip along this mountain ridge here. So you have two options here. You can go up on that side if you have an anchor, or you can go down this way, which is a little bit more treacherous, but you know, I consider this the fun path. So we'll show you the fun path here. We're going to go over here and around this tree. That's going to get us up on top again. We're going to go right over this rock. And from here on out, it should be easy going. kind of just weave our way around these rocks here. And once we get to about here, this is where you'll find a spot to get off the ridge, right here. And when you do that, there's a nice little path here that you'll be able to follow right to the installation point. So we're going to go ahead and install the fourth and final camera. And there you go. That is the task census complete. This unlocks Eric Miller and a big reinforced bumper for the Lodestar. So, hope you guys enjoyed this guide. Let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.